bugs. Some people are fans, many are not. They do have an important place in the circle of life in our ecosystem, but at what cost? You know, hi Most Amazing Fam, my name is Abby, and today I'm talking about those creepy crawlers with this video. Top 10 scary bugs that might live in your house. Stick around to the end for some bloopers because most likely there will just be a bunch of me making really disgusted faces. These bugs are nice and they have their place, doesn't mean I have to like them, okay? Let's start off at number 10. Already I'm not excited. Cockroaches. So I'm gonna specifically be talking about the American cockroach, but there's also German, Australian, and Oriental cockroaches. So don't go thinking they won't be at your house possibly too. American cockroaches are actually native to the Middle East and Africa, but it is believed they came over because of commercial patterns including the Atlantic slave trade. All those ships coming and going, the cockroaches hitched a ride. These roaches live up to 700 days and are the largest of all different cockroach species. They are about 1.6 inches long and reddish brown and just give you the heebie-jeebies. They are one of the quickest insects when it comes to running, and they can clock in at over 3 miles an hour. If you compare that to body size, that's like a person running over 200 miles an hour. They are speedy, creepy boys. Now, one horror story is that while someone was in the ER waiting for their stepdad to be seen, the nurses wheeled in a little boy about 4 years old who was screaming and crying while clawing at the left side of his head. The nurses put him in the bed right next to the stepdad, and all these doctors and nurses kept coming and going to look at him. Finally, they pulled a large roach from his left ear. Apparently, the roach was digging and trying to make a nest in the 4-year-old's ear. Everyone there was horrified. Rightly so. But let's move over to something we have on the smaller side. At number 9, we have lice. If you have never had lice before, that is awesome and I applaud you, but I have been both a camp counselor and a child before, so I have been quite susceptible, honestly. I was only a wee babe when it happened to me. The eggs were found in my hair and my mom cut my hair real short. And why? Well, lice may be super small, but they wreak havoc when they are in your hair. They live in people's hair and they feed on your blood, and that's why you feel itchy basically. They just sit there snacking on your scalp. So if your head is feeling itchy, get your scalp checked so these bloodthirsty little critters don't keep roaming on your dome. Yep. There are special shampoos, but just get a buzz cut, just go for it. You know, that's what I did. I was also a baby, but you know, it worked. On to number 8, other little buggers, bed bugs. So contrary to their name, these bugs don't just live in beds, although that is the most common. They live in small cracks and crevices of buildings and furniture as well. They mainly stay by beds because they, too, feed on people. And yes, that is another scary little bug that wants your blood. When they bite you, they even administer a little bit of anesthetic to keep you from feeling the bite, so you don't even know that they're doing it. But you will notice the red bumps that appear on your body, and usually all over your body. These bugs are quite a nuisance and hard to get rid of since it's hard to get them out of everything in your house, so yes, definitely a scary thing to find in your house. Also, lots of times they just sit and live in your bed or wherever you're around the most so that they can just like come up, take a snack, and then go back. If you think about it, kind of the life though. If I was a bug, you're just chilling out. I'm not a bug, it's fine. Tangents. On to number 7, jumping spiders. While these spiders have adorable eyes, do not be dissuaded from the fact it is still a spider and should be outside. It may catch a ride on a plant or other things you bring inside your house, so if you find one of these little fellas, just chuck it right back outside. By chuck it, I mean give it like a ride on a piece of paper nicely, but get it out. Get. So their size ranges from 1/8 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch, and they can be tan, black, brown, or gray, and usually have some pale markings. And you may be thinking, looking at some pictures, oh Abby, but this one's like pretty cute, it's not even scary. But like, take a look at this. In this series of photos, one jumping spider took on a grasshopper and won because it has rapidly injecting venom. This venom won't have much effect on a person, of course, but still, it bites it feels threatened, and it can like take on something like 3 times its size. Dude. This is number 6, Black Widow spiders. So nope, not the Marvel character, the spider that Black Widow, the character, is named after. It is a dangerous little arachnid that can be found in the United States, Southern Europe and Asia, Australia, Africa, and much of South America. They spread out pretty far since the little widow spiderlings make themselves a sail-like contraption with their web and then float along wherever the winds take them. Black widows have a more dangerous reputation as well since their venom is 15 times more dangerous than a rattlesnake. And they aren't just dangerous to people and animals, but to each other as well. A female black widow's lifespan can be around 3 years, but a male's is around 2 or 3 months. And why? Well, because after they mate, the female usually kills and eats the male, making her a widow, where we get the name. So if you see a 1.5 inch black spider with a red hourglass on the back, keep your distance, because that's the feisty female and the bites are dangerous. Yeah, just stay out of the way. They usually do not bite unless they are provoked, so do not provoke it. On to number 5, cellar spiders. So these little buggers are also known as daddy long legs, granddaddy long leg spiders, carpenter spiders, daddy long leggers, vibrating spiders, and skull spiders. They are notable for their tiny little bodies and super long legs. Their legs are honestly so thin that many times you don't even feel them crawling on you, and that's me speaking from experience. Anyways, for a while there was an urban legend going around that cellar spider's venom was secretly the most dangerous venom out there, but its fangs just weren't long enough to pierce human skin. This was disproved by Mythbusters and scientific research. Yes, they are incredibly venomous to other insects, but to a person, if you can somehow convince one of these pretty calm spiders to bite you, it would just be a pretty mild burning sensation. Also, there was another myth going around that if you ate one of these it was super poisonous, but no, it's just kind of mildly venomous to other insects. So if you want to eat one of these spiders, you could. I don't recommend it though. Not very delicious. But let's move on to number 4. Maybe this insect is delicious. Millipedes. So millipedes are a group of bugs, specifically arthropods, that have 2 pairs of jointed legs on most body segments. That's why they just look like they have so many legs. Pillbugs actually also fall underneath this category, but they are shorter than what we think when we imagine a millipede. Millipede legs are attached to the underside of their body, while centipede legs are attached to the side, so that's where the difference between those two comes from. Anyways, that's a fun fact you can use to impress people at a party if you would like. Also, you might find one of these big scary boys in your house, and the longest one ever recorded, or the most legs, was 750 legs. So no, they don't have 1,000 like the name millipede suggests, but if you see a picture of one that just has 600, it's like that long and thin. No! On to number 3, ticks. So ticks are known as one of the worst bugs to encounter because they can transmit Lyme disease. The most popular in conversation of all the ticks is the black-legged deer tick because it's the one known to transmit Lyme disease and other pathogens. If you have a dog or any outdoor animals or pets, you are going to want to protect them from ticks for their safety as well as yours. Right now in parts of Canada, Lyme disease is so prominent in ticks that if you get a tick bite, they just assume you need to be treated for Lyme disease. Without treatment, a person can get complications involving the joints, heart, and nervous system. That's what Jay Beebs has right now, unfortunately. And he is from Canada. So be careful, Canadians. Just saying. Moving on to number 2, horseflies. So these are those big flies you may have come upon, and they take a big chunk out of your body and hurt the absolute worst. They can become infected and swollen if not treated properly as well. So just more fun. Also, only the females bite humans and animals to get blood, so they have what they need to produce eggs. And yes, I guess circle of life, but I don't want one to bite me. Someone wrote on a forum once that a horsefly chased them almost 2 miles just hovering next to their shoulder waiting for their next snack. These horseflies have been plaguing humanity for a long time too. Ancient Greek tragedy writer Aeschylus even mentioned them driving people to madness in ancient Greece. So they've been around for like thousands of years. Just making me go insane. Yes, I am immortal. Number 1, a house centipede. So this one takes my number 1 because it's just nasty. Centipedes are worse than millipedes, and yes, you can argue with me, but you will be wrong. Is there a horror movie made with millipede in the title? No. It's the human centipede. But I digress. A house centipede usually has 15 pairs of legs and can leg it up to 40 centimeters a second. Yes, that's over a foot of movement in a second for a little thing, and they might run straight towards you because they can't see very well, and you probably don't want them to come towards you, but they aren't able to see you, and they just think, oh, a safe space. But no. Don't come at me. While this household pest looks scary, it eliminates some of the other pests found on this list. It hunts for spiders, bedbugs, termites, cockroaches, silverfish, and ants. So if you can somehow stomach living alongside a house centipede, you may live without other pests. But personally though, no, I cannot live with a centipede. Like, let's look at more of its stats. We talked about the 15 pairs long legs. It's about 1 inch in length. It has this light color. It's kind of hideous. I mean, like, maybe that's your thing, but ugh. No, it's devastating and I want it out of my house. I had to deal with enough of these when I was in high school living with my parents. Sorry, Mom and Dad. I don't like the bugs. But alright everyone, that was our top 10 scary bugs that might live in your house, and I hope you don't also have the crawling sensation that bugs are all over you right now. I feel fine. But I've been your host Abby. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give us a like, comment, and subscribe, and check us out on Facebook and Instagram for more most amazing content. They're about 1.6 inches tall. Well, not tall, long. Bugs. I'm just not happy. I hate thinking about it. If you have ever had lice before, I thought I said if you've ever had lice before, that's wonderful. No, if you've never had lice before. Scrolling for links, me being disgusted by spiders. Oh, black widow spiders. This is the pose. A female black widow's lifespan can be around 3 years, but a male black widow's... I'm just saying black widow too many times. So do not provoke it. Feisty women. All the cringe. It's just me shaking. Like a chihuahua. Lives with Canada. Not lives with Canada. Lives in Canada. Can't live with these bugs. It's just me freaking out. Just no. Okay. I just messed up my hair for no reason. Do I have to imitate a bug? Okay, so, wait. There's my bug impression. You're welcome, goodbye.